What is up, everybody? Happy Old Testament Thursday. I'm Pastor Adam. I'm so excited you decided to tune in, check out, and see what we've got going on today. Hey, we're continuing on in our series on the Sabbath. What does it mean to rest, relax, and recharge the way that God intended it to be? A lot of times we have been talking about through this whole series about how to rest physically, emotionally, spiritually. How do we find those things that help us get back into where we need to be? How do we increase our energy levels? How do we make sure that we're keeping the Sabbath holy? Because it is one of the commandments, and it's kind of crazy to think about because Pharisees added so many extra laws to it or rules to it. How do we get back to what God intended it to be? Well, if you know, see what's going on in our world today, relaxing, recharging, a mental health is a big aspect of our culture today. And there's many ways to go about improving your mental health. There's many different avenues people go down. One can be, some people like going on walks. Other people, it's a good book. Some people, it's whatever it is. So my question is for you: how do you make sure that your mental health is okay? Have you ever done something that somebody has told you and said, "Oh, this works great for your health, your mental health, yada yada yada, whatever it is." And so you go out and you go and try to do that thing, and it just ends up being more frustrating, harder, and just makes you ugh. It did not work. Have you ever thought of something that, oh, that'll definitely be relaxing for me, and you go and do it, and you're like, ugh, it just adds more stress to you. When we talk about mental health, when we talk about resting and recharging and making sure we're okay, taking that time to do those things, why not go and look at God? Why not go look to God? Because He seems to have the answer for many things. When He commands us to take a Sabbath, He was serious. It's a big thing. And guess what? He knew what He was talking about, and He knows the best way to do it. Check out Isaiah 58, starting in verse 13. If you keep your feet from breaking the Sabbath and from doing as you please on my holy day, if you call the Sabbath a delight and the Lord's holy day honorable, and if you honor it by not going your own way and not doing as you please or speaking idle words, then you will find your joy in the Lord, and I will cause you to ride in triumph on the heights of the land and to feast on the inheritance of your father Jacob. The mouth of the Lord has spoken. Now, God is speaking through the prophet Isaiah to Israel. Israel was doing this, that, and the other on the Sabbath. Isaiah is trying to get people to repent. He's like, hey guys, just so you know, if you don't figure all this out and quit sinning and turn back to God, then you are going to go into exile. God is going to punish you. And I want to take that principle out of there and apply it to our lives. He says, God is saying here, if you refrain from doing what you please on my holy day, you call it a delight and you call it honorable and you honor it, then you will begin to have the joy of the Lord. You will have your energy restored. You get to ride on the heights of triumph. That sounds pretty cool. I want to take that principle. Yes, this is Isaiah speaking and God speaking to the Israelites, but I think we can take something out of it here and know that God honors us when we honor the Sabbath. We sit there and go, Lord, this is your day. I'm not trying to make it anything I want to do. I'm not trying to make it my own thing. I'm not trying to, cover it up by saying, oh, this is the Sabbath and this is God's day, but on the other hand, I'm doing kind of going against what he had designed the Sabbath to be. This is exactly what happened with the Pharisees. They added all these rules, and the Sabbath became more of a burden than it was about rest. It was more about rule following. It was more about following man-made rules than it was ever following the instruction manual God had left behind for the Sabbath. So my question, my challenge to you is, are you going your own way? Are you making the Sabbath and adding all these extra rules? Or are you honoring God's day? Are you honoring the Sabbath the way that God had intended you to? Are you calling it a delight? Are you saying it's honorable? Are you honoring it? All of these three things, let's make sure we're doing them together so that we're following the idea of the Sabbath that God had, not our idea of the Sabbath. I'm Pastor Adam. This has been Old Testament Thursday. I'll see you again next time.